Welcome to a demonstration of the market security software. Today we are going to be using the demo system, which is available to everyone from our main website at marketsecurity.co.uk. A little background to the software itself. Market security is what is known as case management software. Specifically, market security focuses on the needs of intellectual property managers. In the simplest sense, you can think of it this way. If you manage a brand and want to be able to better use, manage, consolidate, share, and protect information about physical seizures by customs and police, and or the removal of internet-based counterfeit items, market security can help you do this. A lot of companies will already have one or many systems in place to try and help track and measure this kind of information, but market security is the first to be fully focused on the brand and not solely on the legal aspects surrounding potential counterfeit activity. The first thing we see when we log in is our dashboard of information. In this specific case, we are logging in as a super user of the system. So we have full access to the menu options down the left-hand side of the screen and a dashboard that allows us to see all available information. In the top left, as per every user, we have the cases which have been assigned to us as an individual. This represents our to-do list of cases awaiting our input before they can progress in their workflow to the next step. We'll cover this in more detail later on. To the right of this, we have an at-a-glance representation of all the cases in the system. So here we're not just looking at what is assigned to us, but the management information for the entire system. Beneath that, we have a pie chart breaking down our cases by the brand they affect and the time period, which of course we can change. So let's do that now and have a look at the monthly data. Top offending counterfeiters are identified to the right of this, be they physical individuals or online accounts on marketplaces or platforms. And finally, we have a world heat map representing by country where the cases have originated and their totals. At the top left of the screen, we have our quick action menu items. Case data, create a new case, administer our users, administer our cases. Finally, the last items to see on the screen are at the top right hand side. Firstly, we've got tasks pending for us as a user to complete, notifications generated by the system that might require our attention, and access to our profile where we can personalize our experience. Let's dive into the heart of the system and create a new case. Here I'm presented with a screen that allows me to start a new case, and the driving action as to what happens next depends on what type of case I want to start. You can see I currently have two options, suspected counterfeit and online brand protection result. With market security, you're free to configure as many case types as you want for your organization. Each type of case can be configured to have a different workflow and combination of fields that you wish to capture as information. In this case, we're going to select suspected counterfeit. Immediately, you'll see the top right-hand side of the screen changes to show the workflow or set of steps that will be used for this case. We currently have 4 steps, and we always start with case created and finish with case closed, but we can configure as many steps in this process as we might need to accomplish the job. Here we can see that after creating the case, we have a step where photos are needed to verify potentially if it's counterfeit or not, and then we pass our case to the legal department, who will start a process of prosecution against the individual or company if we believe this to be truly a counterfeit problem. It could of course be a genuine article or something being sold incorrectly on the grey market. Once the case type is selected, we become free to start adding data for the case. Specifically, I'm going to add a few pieces of information immediately, such as the point of origin for this case, which I'm going to say is France. Then I'm going to add who reported the case, so I'll put customs. And I'll pick today's date for the reported on. Finally, I'm going to select an image to represent this case so it's more easily identifiable by sight. If I move to the lower half of the screen, I can see that it's possible to add more information with the tabs Case Information, Product, Action, Counterfeiter, Notes, and History. In fact, history is just an audit trail of the events for this case that you can view. At the moment, case information is empty. That's because we have not defined any additional information to be captured at this point. If I move to product, you can see that I have the option to start adding products for this particular case. So let's do that. I can select a product type. I can select a brand and the product itself or freeform text. Now, if I choose, I can start adding photos of the product that have been seized by the French customs in this particular case. Or more likely, because I've configured my workflow, I can pass this task off to a third party who handles this stage of things. Remember, we have photos needed. I can add as many products and as many photos of these products to the case as I need. Moving on to action, here I can record information about the action taken as part of the case. Maybe if a prison sentence was handed down to the counterfeiter, a fine amount associated with this case, and if the product was destroyed. And with counterfeiter, I can add information about the individual, online or physical, that was found with these suspected counterfeit items. Maybe a reference, the category they apply to, the individual or the company's name, and their email address. Let's just save this for now. Once saved, we're presented with more options to be able to manage the case. You'll notice we can add more information and update. We can also close the case at this point. In our example, we have merely suspected counterfeit. Perhaps we've proved it's not counterfeit at all, and we wish to close the case. It's probably still important to record this information because it helps to build up a picture of how often a brand is interacting with customs, police, individuals, or perhaps customer service teams. This all takes time and effort to investigate, so recording this gives you a paper trail of that information. You'll also notice at this point we can create a PDF version of this case and use the information offline. It's a pretty empty case at the moment, but all the information recorded is exported into PDF format. Now, probably the most interesting part at this point is that the case will have been automatically assigned to someone according to its workflow, which means they are now expected to do something. But likewise, we can choose to move the workflow forwards or backwards to signal something has now been updated and it needs to go to the next step and person in the chain. So let's do that now by clicking on the Photos Needed Step 2. We can see by doing this that the case has now been assigned to someone called Bob. When Bob logs into Market Security, it will be on his list of cases and he will have received a notification that the case has been assigned to him. With Market Security, it's possible to both customize the notifications you receive and the types of events and why you want to receive them. I'm going to finish this quick demonstration by searching for some cases in my system. Yes, on the dashboard I can simply click on a case assigned to me, but maybe I'm looking for a closed case or a case assigned to someone else currently. So by clicking on Search Case, we can arrive at this function. There are two views to the data in the system. The first we're looking at here is the more graphical version. That logo or image I picked when creating the last case might help me immediately pick out the case I'm interested in, or perhaps I want to view all the cases more traditionally as a grid. Using the criteria on the left-hand side, I can refine which cases I wish to see. For example, I'm going to select France. And there is the case I just created. I can multi-select in this criteria if necessary and change the date ranges for cases or filter by specific products. So there you have it, your whistle-stop tour of the Market Security system. In other webinars, we will be more deeply looking into the reporting functions and how you both personalize and extend the Market Security software. For example, adding new data fields, customizing workflows, and creating new case types. Thanks for your attention.